Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Night Takeaway Show. Hope everyone's keeping well. And finally, it's the end of the season. It's over and done with. Um, some people are going to be happy. Some people are going to be crying into their milk, beer, champagne, wine, you name it. They're going to be doing it. As you can see at the moment, it's me on my lonesome. Hopefully, people will join us into this. If not, it's going to be quite an easy. It'll be a nice short show, and it's just kind of go over what we've been doing so far. So let's start off with the people in the chat as always. Good evening, Matt. Big up Tony in the panel. 3 good goals for West Ham today. Yep, it was a nice to end on a high for a change, mate, rather than the dross that we've kind of put ourselves through throughout this whole season. Lawrence, good afternoon from yourself as well from Lexington, Kentucky. Come on, you Irons. Good to see you as well. And they're saying they were good goals. You're saying definitely were. Excuse me. Big up Lord Lawrence of Lexington. And Matt's also saying still no free kick for West Ham from JWP though. I mean, he got involved today. That was one good thing about it. I was pleased with that. That's what you wanted to see. At least he did that. Rather than the last couple of games he's been in. Good evening, Hot Fuzz. Hope you will, mate. Hope you're going to be joining us. If not, we'll catch you at some point. United up to 15th. We're massive, mate. We're massive. You finally got yourself in there. Well, at least you're above Spurs. You can take that with well done for that anyway. Matt saying no free kick. Yeah, absolutely. Fuzzy. Matt saying we're 14th, even more massive. Whereas Spurs are drowning in 17th. Yes, we'll see the aftermath of this. What it'll be. yeah, mate. And predicted 14th for the break. I mean, the main thing is when Lopetegui came in and how the season went on, I think we all said, like, where would our season end up and where would it finish? Some had us, was 12th. And of course, as it went all Pete Tong, was looking at the bottom end of the table, but 14th, hey, better than nothing, So we kind of finished off near enough where Potter was when he first came in. Good evening, Stephanie. Good to see you. Well done, Tony, on finishing above United. Yeah, it's not been a great season for United, that's for sure. Aces, good evening to yourself as well. Words and pictures, the win at the end of a rotten season have left me feeling good. I mean, there is some positives we can take from there, can't we? But at the same point, I think most of us can say we can't wait to see the end of this season. And now it's done and over, and we can rest for a little while. And then wonder what the hell's going to be going on from that point onwards. Steve Bell, oi. How are we doing, Steve? Fuzzy Murray is coming in and talk of the devil. Here's Fuzzy Murray. Good evening.
Can't stay for too long, but
I do believe this is going to be a nice short one this evening because I think most people kind of are relieved the season's over and done with.
Everyone's stuck at the bottom of their pint glasses at the moment. He's still sinking to the bottom of his.
It's the never-ending glass. Usual saying, real British Wednesday, Southend next Sunday. Yes, of course. Yes.
Oh, mate. Please, Anthony, win that final so we can sell you for a good price. Not even for the sake of stopping Chelsea winning a trophy, just so we can actually sell players.
Well, did you see? I think it was on Twitter or was it on Insta that what Anthony put? So apparently he said, and they said it was me. It was like, I was the problem. I was the problem for United.
I mean, yeah, I suppose we can blame you for everything. That's fairly reasonable. I'm happy to do that.
Good evening again, Brendan. Good to see you as well. And as always, saying hello to each other, which is brilliant.
Even with our game, sure, we win it, again, unexpectedly against Aston Villa of all teams. I mean, how many people said that that would happen? Um, and even then, we're just like, yeah, we can't allow for us to actually just win a game with a good performance. We have to do something to ruin it. And of course, stand up referee to make a very controversial call. So I don't know if you've seen it yet with the, to be honest, in my opinion, perfectly legitimate Aston Villa goal that the referee said, nah, you're not going to have it.
Yes, did hear something about this, and I briefly saw the thing, and I didn't see much in it myself. But you have to, was the referee decent in that game? Because it sounded like he was a bit, he's a little bit.
Well, I know that I think that decision probably set the tone for the rest of the game. I know that the red card decision, I think a lot of people were saying, well, but he's knocked the ball away from the trajectory of the goal as the striker, and then Martinez has clattered into him. So it's a bit like the same idea when Haaland knocked the ball away from the trajectory of the goal
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
FA Cup and then the foul was committed. Dean Henderson didn't get a red card, Martinez did. So, I mean, to me, that's a major inconsistency. If if Dean Henderson didn't get a red card for that, you might as well have said, well, it wasn't a clear and obvious opportunity to score a goal for United. Then again, it was Rasmus Højlund, so even if the ball was going towards the goal, it would probably still not count as a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity. Um, so for me, I just think the inconsistency from officiating's come through again. There was there was another penalty call that was made on Amad Diallo,
Yep.
which I thought was actually a good spot because the ball has left the penalty box. Now, by this point, anything the referee's doing, Aston Villa are just like, right, he's now just moved a little bit higher on my kill list, yeah, and then a little bit more on but it was actually a good spot with the penalty because it's Ian Matson, who puts his right foot out and just catches the left foot on the side when next to the ankle.
Mm.
When Ahmad sort of pushed to physically defend the ball inside the box, and then he steps on his foot and he goes down and able to draw a penalty from that. Aside from that, I just think the most horrendous call was that one where the ball is not dealt with by Maguire. I mean, he's sort of leaning back to header it, but he doesn't jump properly, doesn't get enough headering power on it, and it bounces off to the side, so he sort of has to recover it a little bit. But Bayern comes out, and you think a goalkeeper just hands on the ball, bring it in. Every goalkeeper in the Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, Conference League, Conference North, Conference South, all of every division, even the policeman team from your local police branch, the goalkeeper selected in that game would just go, let's put my hands on the ball and bring it in. He decides to start going, oh my god, hot potato, hot potato. I think, what the fuck are you doing? And so Morgan Rogers, fair play to him. It's just like, well, he's not holding on to the ball. I'm just going to toe poke it out. By which point, it's gone behind Bayern, and he sort of, rolls it over Bayern's legs, turns around, and then places it into the back of the net. The only problem is that the referee thought, oh, that's a foul, and blew his whistle before the ball went into the back of the net. So that's why VAR couldn't intervene to say whether it was a legitimate goal or not. VAR only intervened to see if the referee had blown his whistle before the ball went in or not. But for me, that was just Bayern being an absolute twat with the ball, and it's luckily that he's his best mates with the referee.
Yeah.
If he wasn't, then that's he's going to have to hold that L. But I think that's probably put him on the to sell list with with Anana. It was dropped just before the game.
Yes, to see that one as well. Yeah, so that's quite interesting. Just going to comment, Sir Brendan saying usual Matt F, WP, Lawrence, Steve Bell, Fuzzy Aces, and et al. Yeah, saying hello to each other. Larry, yeah, it's definitely saying Fuzzy Legend. And
Big up,
Aces
definitely.
coming out. Villa was daylight robbery. Big up usual. Good evening, Daz. Good to see you, mate. It's been a while. Hope you all good. Evening, Tony. Come on, West Ham. Indeed. Happy with the day. Happy hammers. After, shocking. And also, good evening to our good old friend Trip. Hope you're good, Trip. Hello, everyone.
Big up, Strip.
And also, big up to Mr. Joshy J. Big up Tony and Fuzzy. Worst Manchester United season in my lifetime is over. Thank goodness. We are in the same boat there, Mr. Joshy J.
For
Yes,
that.
indeed. Yes. And as always, don't forget, if you can, go over to Fuzzy's channel, share, like, and subscribe. And Mr. Joshy J, let's give our good little friend there as also the same thing as well. And as always, say hello to each other. Yeah, never. Brendan say never a foul, never a foul. It was. I mean, when you look at Martinez, I don't know. He just saw red mist at that point. I think that's the only reason why.
He saw the red card come out, and I think a part of him wanted to celebrate. It's like, United red, yay! Oh no, I'm being sent off. Oh, maybe that's why he's done it. It's just be like, listen, I may fuck around with Aston Villa in goal, but I can't fuck around as much as Anana and Bayern does. So if I stick the winner here, you'll sign me, right? That's probably what he's done. It's just auditioning for the goalkeeping position at United.
Jesus. Brendan saying, yeah, definitely was a red. Yeah, I agree on that one. Seeing the challenge. Matt saying Villa needed a less rash goalie next season.
Andre Anana. Less rash by about 1%.
Apparently, there is talks that he is off. Martinez is going anyway. So that's to be interesting to see what it's going to. I think we've just same with your club as like our club. It's now the get the carousel and what players are going and what's coming in.
Well, we've already said goodbye to 3 players. The funny thing is that going into this game, everybody with the Garnacho's camp knew that it was going to be his last. Everybody knew it was going to be his last game, and the stadium announcer did not even remotely mention Alejandro Garnacho as a send-off.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah, goodbye Lindelof, goodbye Ericsson, goodbye Johnny Evans. Well, Garnacho's good. Nah, don't worry about him.
just hearing the tumbleweed
cooked by the stadium announcer.
Superb.
Yeah.
Aston Villa to make complaint to Premier League about referee selection after having goal disallowed during today's game. That's just come through.
Failure to qualify for Champions League, because if they had just drawn that game, there would be Champions League by a point. If they'd drawn that game, and goals change games, so who knows? If Villa were given that goal, maybe they might have done enough to see out. Out the draw. Even if we were deserved winners of the game, I mean, still, it's a major. For one refereeing mistake, it's a major change in trajectory. That's affected which competition you qualify in Europe.
100%. Yeah, I totally agree on that comment. Because just looking at the picture here, look at him then. Did he actually have his hands? Did he actually have his hands on the ball, or was it nicked off out of his hands?
No, he didn't hold. He wasn't holding the ball. Like, he had the ball in between his hands, but he was doing hot potato. So like.
So really, the goal. If it wasn't,
do it with a bit of a Toblerone. So he's just doing that, and then somebody comes along and just goes, "Yeah, see ya," and you're like, "Oh no, it's been taken out of my hands," and everyone thinks, "Well, it's your problem because you're playing hot potato with it. Anybody else puts their hands on the ball and keeps them there."
the problem with this, what is it going to achieve anything? Because they're not going to suddenly say, okay, can we play that last game of the season and all the other teams just to make sure that we kind of make it fair and even?
Well, I mean, they can sue the PGMOL for the £100 million they missed out on.
Let them do that,
You
yeah.
can give us compensation now.
Oh man, you imagine that.
They're coming for bloods. Every drop of it.
Daz says, so glad the season is over. Daz, we're in the same agreement. Good evening, Arsenal Manic. Hope you're well, mate. And got to be happy with how you at least you finished on a high. You've won at least, and second spot is secured. And yep, it's now ready for next year. Usually saying lucky Starman never saw it. The goalkeeper would have got 6 months. It's true. Brenda saying, why is the goalie a twat?
Because there's no goalkeeper that gets paid nearly as much as he does, playing hot potato with the football, not holding onto it and offering it to the opposing striker, who is bearing down on him. Would you do that, Tony, if you're in the box and you had the ball and it's 0-0 and it's like, yeah, we want to win this game? Do you just stick the ball up there and it's just like, take it, striker, take it, please, have the ball? Do you do that?
No, because the one thing you bought, as soon as you got your hands in the ball, you bring it into your chest and that's it. You go the fetal position and job done.
But not buying, dear. Never buying, dear.
Arsenal went saying Villa and Forest bottled it. A point where we've got a Villa Champions League. Unai, oh dear. But he's in a competition he knows and no doubt more than likely could actually win.
Why he's used to winning the Europa League, so I'm not sure about. I think Champions League has always been a bridge too far for him, but
yeah.
Get a Europa League easy with that. I mean, you don't get Champions League drop down teams either, so enjoy winning the Europa League next season, Aston Villa. You'll get Champions League that way for sure, but something else as well. It's hilarious after the final whistle with Unai Emery, literally just shook Ruben Amorim's hand, and the cameras would just panned in on him. He just sat there staring at the referee on the other side of the pitch. It was just like that, and he stood there for a solid 2-3 minutes, not even so much as a blink. And the camera was just panned in on him, was just zooming into his face really slowly. I was just like, it's hilarious. Oh god. It's like everyone's making out, it's like, oh, is he staring at the referee? The reaction is funny enough as it is, but then slowly the camera moves around to the back and you can see he's staring at the referee, his tiny speck on the other side of the pitch.
Arsenal Medic saying Spurs back to reality. Europa Cup ain't the Europa Cup of previous years. It's a glorified Vauxhall Conference League.
More quality in the Conference League final than there is in the Europa League final. Thank you very much.
Well said there. Saying Trevor. Here we go. Arsenal is saying AFTV numpties say that Arsenal were the real winners this season, as Liverpool finished on less points than we did last season. What?
How many trophies did that get you though, AFTV? How many trophies are you lifting this season?
It's
Liverpool are pissed up, flying back and forth between Liverpool and Ibiza, and are still performing better than you. They've already won the league. What are we doing here?
Jesus Christ! And he's added this as well. Look, he says this is up there with we should have been awarded the Premier League trophy because we led for the 90% of the season.
Yeah, you should. They wanted to change the rules because it's not fair that a team that can lead the Premier League season for 90%, well, actually, it wasn't 90%, it was something like 97% of the season, from taking the lead in the Premier League title race from early on. The only time they weren't in first place, I'm pretty sure, was the tail end of the season, which is when they bottled it. And they were like, oh, we should change the rules and how teams win the Premier League. Imagine how disastrous that would be for football.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We like, the likes of me and you and that, we're small channels. But even if we've got big, I don't think I would have come up with that and saying that we were the real winners because we had they finished with less points than us. That
Mm.
in itself is just kind of like, are you really stooping that low when you come up with comments like that?
It's like I could say, well, I think that United are the real winners this season between us and Spurs because we finished higher than them in the table and they went losing 4-1 to Brighton on the final day, but we beat Aston Villa at our home ground. So we're definitely better off. We're the real winners, guys. We're the real winners.
That's just, and unfortunately for people that are real kind of Arsenal fans, they've got to listen to these kind of type of comments. Unfortunately, wow. Daz has got a question for you, Fuzz. He says, "Do you think the Manchester United manager will go? Do you think Amron's going to leave, or do you think he's going to
No,
hang around?"
he'll stick around, but if he's going to leave, it'll be because he's getting sacked. And dependent on how it goes into next season, I mean, he's still very much under the cosh for how he's handled the Europa League final because I think he's very much, kick-started all the things that went wrong with that final. Um, it's just really, it's the case that at one point, this team we had playing against Aston Villa had a back three of Lindelof, Maguire, Johnny Evans, by Endearing goal. That's already four players that are not going to be here next season. You got Dorgo on the left, who was really, really bloody lazy today. Like, seriously lazy. Um, but he'll be here next season. Dallo was a weird one because he replaced Mazraoui through a hamstring injury. Half time comes in, gets subbed off again for Kobe Mino. So I don't know what that was about. But Kobe Mino will probably be here next season. Who knows? The board might think cha-ching, cha-ching, we'll get some cash out of that. Bruno Fernandes, the only time you're ever going to get a £100 million sale out of him, he's not going anywhere, which is a shame because I think that's money that a transfer budget needs. And everybody else in that team, Ericsson's gone. Casemiro, maybe he'll go to Saudi this season or this summer. Got Mason Mount who needs to go, but Amorim loves him like a top gooner is sexual for Mikel Arteta. So he's not going to go anywhere. Rasmus Højlund, I think patience is probably running out with him. Some of the chances he had today were just absolutely pathetic. How low quality he was. So yeah, there's Amad Diallo, pretty quiet until he got the goal. And that was pretty much it.
Mm.
But yeah, most of that team, including the bench, not going to be here next season. So you sort of have to think with that situation, how many players are going out the door, how many players you've got coming in, and what's your starting 11 going to look like next season, Ruben?
Yeah, I think that's the same for both our clubs, mate. Knowing what's going to be coming in and where did you go from here? Because I mean, like today, obviously it's the last game. We've got obviously the likes of Cresswell, Sufal. I mean, obviously he started with Suchek. Fabianski started with. And then, of course, it's getting near to the end of the game, and he decides to bring on Guido Rodriguez. And it's like, what the hell? To be fair, though, he set up for the third goal for Kudos, but other than that, that's a player that's going to be gone. And like you just got to see what's going to come in now. I think that's going to be the interesting thing for me. Matt's asking, what's Arteta going to use next season after using lemons and light bulbs, etc.? Well, there's plenty of fruits out there. Vibrators. Well, I was thinking
Look at the energy this radiates off of this vibrator. I need you to run on the pitch like. I need you to feel the energy like. Get the goals.
Oh man,
And that's all the celebration going to be.
You could just see it, can't you? But for me and that, I mean, look, light bulbs, lemons. Well, something sweeter, really. But it's got to be
the bag of squashies I've got in my bag.
No. It's the most obvious one here, and that it's got to be carrots. Carrots has got to be the next thing. Helps you see in the dark. Vitamin C, and it's not bitter.
Please, guys, Gabriel Jesus, please do not put carrots in your eyes like this. You must eat them. It makes you to see better. So, sorry, what was that? I can't see who said that.
Oh man. Brendan's saying, is it Paddy Power, the bookies that pays it early? I do believe it is them that do pay it early, mate. So take it while I got the chance to. Ravi, big up to yourself, mate. Big up, lads. Smash the likes up and subscribe. Thank you very much, sir. Hope you're good, Ravi. I've got to look at your things you sent me in that. There's a chance to. They're saying hello to each other. And there. Arsenal saying, at least West Ham and Man U finished on a high. You must be pleased. Well, pleased that we got the result today for me as a West Ham fan. Pleased that we actually got the result. We got it over the line. We knew Ipswich, they could either give up, put up a fight, or it's just going to be the case of they're going to go through the motions. And I think it was good to see that even when they equalised, that we kind of got back with with an early goal straight off. So that's pleasing to see. But it's what happens next. That's going to be the telling point. What happens next? Evening, Mum. I hope you will. I mean, you must have been a bit nervous as the game was going on today. It wasn't exactly great. But at least you qualified. That's the thing, Mama. So you must be very happy. Ravi saying, Sporting just won the cup versus Benfica. Now have 2 trophies this season with a manager who's been at the club for 5 to 6 months. There you go.
Northside is absolutely fuming as well, by the way.
Is he?
Absolutely fuming. He's got to contend with Arsenal being shameless, and now his side Benfica is supported Portuguese side, and Benfica go from winning 1-0 to losing 2-1 in extra time. It's going well.
Good start. Good start. Mama's saying hello to the chat. Lawrence as well. They all say hello to each other. Matt saying, big up Mama Flossie, Queen of YouTube and of Geordie Land. Arsenal is saying, they didn't say that. I exaggerated by the posted a large image. Is it the same, isn't it? For them, mate, it would not surprise me, Arsenal Manic. That's the kind of level they go to. I think you know that yourself. But that wouldn't, I wouldn't put it past them, mate. I really wouldn't. That's the shame of them, unfortunately. Evening, JB. Good to see you. Evening, all. Thanks, Mama. Good evening. Good to see everyone saying hello as always. Matt says, I hope Potter doesn't go for Lindelof.
Well, he's going to be a free agent. Oh, and another one, get him in a package deal with Christian Eriksen. Or better yet, Johnny Evans.
JB said, all I said earlier on, generally, if we agree or didn't agree, thanks for making the season more fun than it has been. Yeah, we've got all top people. Cheers, all come in your eyes. Yeah, mate. We know we're typical West Ham, JB. At the end of the day, we've been there, up and down, relegation. We've seen there, but we still stick together. We still get on with it because we know that's what West Ham are like sometimes. But at least with this one, there's a bit more light at the end of the tunnel. All we've got to hope for now during the pre-season or the close season, whatever you want to call it, the bloody dwarf disappears and someone else comes over and takes over our club and moves it forward, because that's the next thing we've got to hope for. Matt said, I'll take Malacia as cover for Aaron Wan-Bissaka from United. Matt wants to raid your club.
Give us £100 million in each.
Words and pictures saying, what club achieved the best this season considering the club they are? Crystal Palace? I mean, considering when you think Palace started off quite badly, didn't they, really? It took them a while to get into it. And, of course, they won a cup, beating City of all teams. So, yeah, who's achieved the best this season? Who would you go for on that one then, Fuzz?
Who would I go for? Who achieved who had the best season club-wise? As far as club-wise is concerned, I think Crystal Palace is a very good shout. Even though they still finished bottom half of the table, crazy. But FA Cup, Europa League qualification, first in their history. So that's record-breaking season for them.
Yeah.
I think Newcastle can say that they've had a very good season with positioning, getting into Champions League right down to the very wire, the last day of the season. Nottingham Forest, Europa Conference League, despite sort of, I think categorically as a team, still being sort of lower half of the Premier League table in terms of quality, but just the way that they've been set up and been playing this season is, they've massively overachieved. So I think there's definitely a handful of clubs that we can say have done, done really, really well. But you can also say with the same amount of clubs that have overperformed, you've got the same amount of clubs that have underperformed. Tottenham, Manchester City, United, all sorts.
Yeah, I mean, going with that Crystal Palace, I mean, as you said, the fact that they're qualified for champions as well, that's a great achievement in that. But there's the others, as you said, considering how the game, the minutes went on this afternoon. 1 minute you're 1 point from being in it. Next minute you're out of it. Then you're back in it again. Newcastle had a great season. I think they'll do better for next season. I think they'll invest a bit more. Forest, great season for them. You definitely say that the last 10 games for me is where they went off the boil. And obviously the key thing is how this chairman reacts. Is there a chance he might kind of get shot of Nuno, or Nuno walks because if there's any disagreement, rightly or wrongly? But if a Spurs fan was on here, they'll probably say we've had the best season because we won that cup. But I think Glasner's done well with Palace. Like I said, it was a slow start for Palace. He's got them playing, and they've got some. Considering the players they've got in there, he's done very well with them. So yeah, I think you're right, Fuzz. I'll go with Palace as well. Newcastle is quite close to my heart as well. I think they've had a great season. I think they would be there or thereabouts, but Palace just edge it in that respects. Matt saying Hoyland isn't good enough for United.
Not at all.
Jazz hasn't worked. Yes, Arsenal. Yes, true. 10 men at the back. Yes, Palace first ever trophy. Yeah. JB is saying a good has a brilliant season in Spain. Yeah, he don't want to come back, does he? Give him, so we take 25 million for him. Kudos possibly off to the Saudi, 80 million-ish. Take that as well. Yeah, I hope Potter tapped the lap up today. Has he got the balls for it? Has Potter got the balls to say, come to us.
I'll just mute this real quick. But I'll share this. Share the screen with this. Don't know if you might get
Great.
That's the.
He's sat there for like a solid several more minutes, and the camera pans around to see the referee on the other side of the pitch.
Jeez. Is that 3D image profiling or something? They're trying to make a bust of him or something. Or is he kind of auditioning for
Yes, you don't see the emergency artistry kit getting set up. It's like, just hold that. Just hold that face. Yeah, let me. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man. That's off to someone bigger. Yeah, I mean, it could be United, could be Newcastle, maybe even Liverpool. Who knows? But I don't think Delap's going to stay at Ipswich. That's for sure. Mind you, like I said, people in the chat who's with me earlier, and that I do like that Hutchinson. I do like him. He looked pretty decent.
I think it's been confirmed to the number 10 shirt's going to be belonging to next season at United. Mateus Cunha. That's agreed a 5-year deal.
5-year deal?
Yes.
Figure?
5-year deal. I think it's like £67 million, but it's going to be paid in instalments for 3 years.
Okay. I'm just watching the
like £62.5 million release.
Bloody hell. Just watching the League One playoff here, Charlton versus Leighton. I mean, of course, a great goal they've just scored. Just looking at that. Yeah, the keeper had no chance in getting that. I'd love to that, but I can't see it. I know, Matt. I don't think it will be. Dash says, Tony, do you think Potter will do walk next season? I have my doubts. I don't think he will. I think he'll hang around. I think he'll. I think he want to have a point to prove because he's gonna. And I don't want to say it because we hear it so many times. They're not his players.
They're not Amarim's players either.
Yeah, not his player. I mean, that when you hear that comment all the time, and it's a case of like, no, you're a coach at the end of the day. You get players playing, but I think we've got to give him a chance to see what he can actually do with his players that he brings in.
Well, that's the thing is that even if it is, as a coach, you're paid to coach players, you're paid to get the best out of players.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that there can be exceptions to the rule. With West Ham, I just think that the club's trying to get managers so too systemic that you have to find specific players, and I just think in terms of morale at the club is going to be quite low, judging by how things are going on behind closed doors. So it's going to be hard for a coach to motivate.
Yeah.
But with United's case, the only reason why you could probably say, to be fair, yeah, you have to give a manager their players is because, again, system-based coaching, but on top of that, it's a very cancerous culture at the club. Really cancerous.
Yeah.
Ferguson has said that if you want a coach to be able to get the very best results, stop giving players power. Do not keep sacking managers because the players will start to get the idea that they are immune. So they will take liberties and they dictate when they play, when they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, the final, nobody gave a toss.
Yep.
Today, best start to a Premier League game all season. Why are they switching on and off?
Mm-hmm.
Why are players on that much money allowed to pick and choose when they want to play? It's ridiculous. So for me, yeah, Ruben Amorim, you might actually have to say, is an exception to the rule. You have to give him time and get him his players, and he's going to have to do what he did at Sporting in his first summer there. He got rid of 25 players in his first summer. 25. That's an entire active squad for a competition. He got rid of everybody. So he will want the same thing to happen here.
That's the way you do it, though, mate. I mean, not being funny. I mean, when you look at the likes of Chelsea is a typical example for me because if you watched how them players got rid of their managers over the years, the likes of Sarr, Conte, and Mourinho twice, and of course then you had Tuchel as well. And it's be interesting, Maresca, how long he kind of sticks onto it.
Yeah. Well, even then, I think some of the Chelsea guys to the latter stages of that Abramovich era were starting to call out the players for taking liberties with managers because some of them weren't staying around as long or getting as much success before then they were sacked. And it's like you can tell when these players are playing and when they're not. And I just think that it's so stupid that players are allowed to do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, as we know, it's always a case of the manager goes, but players can do what they do and basically get away with it.
Give the power of control, influence, and most importantly, respect back to managers. Make the managerial position at a football club protected again. I mean, you look at Arsenal. They're forcing a manager down everyone's throats. But now they've got Berta in there. That's probably going to be like, well, actually, I don't think this guy's the best suited manager for this club. At least with there, you don't have the issue where players do whatever the fuck it is they want.
I'm sure Arteta must be looking over his shoulder at this point here.
Oh, yeah.
JB saying Spurs 17th is crazy. Look at what they've spent. 65 million just on Solanke. Win a cup at 17th for a club like that and broken a record. Most ever losses in the Prem for them and the lowest team to win the Europa Cup. You are, I mean, JB, that's spitting facts here, mate. You're not wrong in that. I mean, the only thing, as you know, the key thing that Ange will say is, as he said, it's 2 records they've achieved there. He's done what he's done. He said in the second year he'll win something. He's done that. For me, it's how long he stays there now. Does he kind of walk off, or is he going to stick it out for another season and get more abuse if it doesn't go right? Yes, maybe I get that. I mean, the main thing is if you look at it, sometimes luck comes your way, and I think for Newcastle it's well and truly deserved anyway. Good evening, Stephen. Good to see you, mate. Good evening, all. Matt saying Slanky ain't worth 65 million. Yeah, that's what they paid for him, though. Exactly, they did pay for him that.
£30 million strike.
Rip off. Good moment. And JB saying, well done to the Toon, the Palace, good seasons. Fans both stuck with clubs fully deserved. Right, let's bring this man on that. I'll turn my volume down on that. He might have a go at me because he felt like I flagged him, but I did not.
You did. There's probably someone in the chat who don't like me, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
My Twitter, mate. I mean, I tried to get back in again when you said about it. And I thought, so I'm sure I've sent it to him and that. And all I got was his spinning circle in the top right-hand corner. It wouldn't go back. It couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, that's right, mate. That's all right. No worries, Tom. Always forgiven. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We've had a shit season. We don't need everything else. Do you know what I mean? How is everyone? First off.
Yeah, well.
Relieved.
That's what glad it's out of the way with. Yeah. But at least it's on a high, mate. We finished with a win. That's the key thing about it.
Yeah, listen, I said the same thing on E20 on the afterthought, that I'm just glad that I can just sail off into the sunset now and just chill out for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? When you're doing YouTube content for as long as I've done it, this season's probably been the hardest. I thought last season was hard with the Moyes in, Moyes out thing, but now this season's been fucking hell 10 times worse than that. Just consistently shit, and managers and players nearly dying, and everything that could go wrong in the season's gone wrong. And I'm just glad that we've managed to get over the line now and say, right, that's that done. Let's see what happens in the summer, and let's see where we go with Potter. I thought today, for 25 minutes, it was the same old West Ham, defended quite a lot and not really doing a lot. We scored a goal because of their mistake. Good goal. But I'm going to be honest, and probably some of the lads who are the West Ham fans in the chat will probably agree with this. Where the fuck will we be without Jared Bowen? Does he
get a statue?
Yeah, you get something, mate. No, I did a watch line for the game, and most people said that the same thing near the end. If it weren't for him, where would we be?
Yeah, I completely agree, Tone.
That's the key thing.
The problem is he's carried us for a long time, and I put a tweet out on X, and it's funny old place X. Like some people even block you, and you don't even interact with them. So there you go, which is a new one. But I even put a post out on X that basically turned around and said you have to build around this man for next year, because you have to give him something to want staying at West Ham. And I think if you do that, then we might have half a chance of spinning it around next year. And not when I say spinning it around, I don't mean just breaking into Europe or anything like that, but at least looking the part at least. Do you know what I mean? I think this season he's carried us, Wan-Bissaka's carried us, Souček's carried us, and it just hasn't been great for the duration of the season, has it?
No, mate. I mean, I think Fuzzy's in the same boat here. I think we're just glad to see the end of this season over and done with. I think that is the key thing for all of us. I'm in agreement with you. It's what happens in the summer now. Does a clear out start to begin?
Yeah.
And has he given his list to Sullivan and said, "This is what I'm looking for"? And then is it the case that Sullivan thinks, "Yeah, we can have that instead"? Is it going to be the case of that? Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Yeah. If it is, it's going to be a fucking long, hard season again. If not, it's going to be worse.
I just think with Bowen in the side, we've always got a chance of winning the game. I think if you take him out of the side, I do worry about us. I really do. But I'm glad the season's over because I can't continue with this Potter thing. Yeah, because people were sort of blowing smoke up his arse saying he needs his players. Now he's going to get his players, and we're going to see what he's really all about come pre-season. Now, people will turn around and say you can't really judge him in pre-season, but I will be monitoring what he's up to. And I will be watching how he sort of approaches games and how he sets up and the players he's playing. Because roughly 9 times out of 10, when they set up in that way in pre-season, that's how they start the season in that sort of formation. So I just look at Potter. He's got 2 wins in 10, 5 wins out of 18 in the Premier League with 1 cup defeat. It hasn't been good enough, but we've got there. We've got over the line. It's sad to see a few players go today, like obviously Fabianski, Sufal. I thought it was fitting that Cresswell ended his sort of time at West Ham from where it started at Ipswich, which I thought was poetic, really. And do you know what? Everyone can take a reset. I think everyone's been going at each other's throats recently with the Potter thing. I think everyone's had enough of the season and everyone just needs to go off, reset, not worry about football in general, and then come back at the sort of end of June, beginning of July when the transfers start hotting up, and then you start understanding what we're going for and how we're going to go around it. The only thing I will say before I sort of round up and want to say is that it's the biggest summer West Ham's ever going to be likely to have, because I don't think you can go for another year with that and expect players like Jared Bowen to stay here. I really don't. I think he carries us, mate, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I totally agree on that comment because, as you said, you build it on your best players and you've got to try and keep hold of them. I mean, going back to what you said to Cresswell, I think what was nice as well, it was a bit late. I thought he could have come in a little bit earlier, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it was fitting to see the Ipswich fans also applauding him as well. You know, that's a nice touch. I mean, and that's the difference, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter how shit we finish sometimes. When we send a player off, we do usually send them off in good style, and that was nice to see that. Daz, yes, I will be still do some bits and pieces. I think, like everything else that James said there, I think the key thing is have a little bit of a reset, bit of time off, not much, but just a little time out, and then move forward from there, basically. But yes, it's not going to be completely finished.
I'm gonna be doing a season review, a game by game review, and an end of season player ratings, which I'm gonna probably line up for next week. And then after that, it'll be basically if any news breaks for me, I'll just do a pre-recorded video. I'm not gonna do anything live or anything late, because there's no need for it. So you know what I mean. So I can knock a video up in 10 minutes and put that out for something. Do you know what I'm saying? It is.
Of course. What are you going to be doing, Fuzzy? You going to do any other once the season finished doing bits?
Yeah, I'll probably do tomorrow night as a sort of not just a match review, but also a season review, just to go over. I can't even say any highs, just lows. Just go through the lows, and then the middle, just the middle of the way, and then we can go on to transfer talks. Short uploads here or there, to talk about players coming in. Mateus Cunha is looking to be the first deal done. I think everything's been sorted out as to format wise as to payments, how much can be paid, how what's going to happen with contracts, shirts. Shirt numbers already been sorted out apparently. So Mateus Cunha could be the first signing of the summer. Could be doing it a lot quicker, to be fair, because Liverpool already pretty much done 3 signings and they've won the league. Frimpong, Kirkej and Florian Wirtz. Not a bad start to a summer.
Yeah. So they're starting early, aren't they? Just seen a thing come up here. Indy 500. Robert Schwartzman. He's in the lead, and he comes in for a pit stop on that, and then literally pole drives into his own pit crew. The fuel man's had to be stretchered off. He comes piling into him. JB's saying this is the season coming to go hard. A lot of teams we need to work hard. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Mama's saying, rumour has it, Anthony Gordon could be leaving us. Would you buy him?
Financial problems at Newcastle, apparently. FFP, breaking the rules, mama. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Don't break the rules.
It's
You're rule
interesting.
breakers.
They haven't really spent that much money in the last 2 summers, anyways.
No.
So the fact
No.
that they're looking at a third summer of this nonsense is just ridiculous. Let them spend.
I think the problem is, and they may not directly be saying it, but you've got to remember there was a lot of controversy of the Qataris, or if it is, that's bought the club because of who they are. They are literally a state, and there's a lot of kind of bad ilk about them, kind of thing. And no doubt that could be a bit to play. But for me, I agree. I think they've spent wisely. They've not kind of gone overboard, which they could easily do, because as you know, they are literally got money to burn at the end of the day. But I'll take Anthony Gordon in a heartbeat.
Don't ask West Ham fans that time. West Ham ain't getting. West Ham are getting free transfer.
Yeah.
We've
Sullivan's
got more
already on
chance
that.
of getting Flash Gordon than fucking Anthony Gordon, isn't it?
Hey, Sullivan's already on that website there, James. He's looking for the freebies are us.
Okay, no, yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Good evening, Ray.
That's like us.
Vintageplayers.com. They say like with each other as well. Brendan's saying it was different to go last summer. I'm hoping for a trip back to Merseyside. Ooh, bloody hell, imagine that. So hello there. Good day, David Shear. How we doing? Touche, Tony. Hey, Fuzzy. David.
Yeah, David.
Yeah, you won the cup, but it wasn't exactly the greatest game for you today, sir. Hope you will, my friend. That's how it looks. Togs, his head has been turned, apparently.
Let me ask you something, Tone. I asked both of you this question, right? I asked it on E20 earlier. What's the worst defeat for both of you this year? Because we got quite a few. I must admit.
Tottenham in the final. Can't lie.
Oh, I don't know, Fuzz. You've had some Premier League howlers, don't you? Right. Who have you lost to in the Premier League?
Everyone. Everyone in one way or another in some capacity, barring the bottom 3 teams.
Yeah. I said on E20 earlier, I said there's a few. Arsenal at home was hard. I thought the Chelsea game at the start of the season, when we lost 3-0 in September, I thought was embarrassing off the ball, where we was just all running around in circles and they was just scoring and playing balls through the middle of us. Well, that was bad. I think Brighton's a tough one to accept, especially under Potter, to lose 3-2 in the way we did. I think Leicester's a hard game to accept also for how bad they was. And we lost 3-1. And the only thing with the Leicester game for me is that we had so many chances and we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the fucking net. You know what I mean? But I think the Chelsea one hurts a bit. I thought Tottenham away and we lost 4-1 and we got destroyed in 7 minutes, which was that was embarrassing. I think there's a few at West Ham. Be interesting to see what people think in the chat.
I think the Spurs one was how we can implode within, as you said, them minutes, 7 minutes or so. The one where I thought we could have got something out of it, or at least give them a game, was the Forest game when we lost 3-0.
Yeah.
That's the one, because the other games we kind of were poor in certain games, but for that one especially, we was just literally rawly outplayed off the pitch. We might not have well actually been there, because that's how bad it was. I mean, obviously there's the Liverpool game when they tonked us, was it 5-0?
5-1, yeah. 5-1 and 6-0, I think it was. Everyone, yeah. Like.
But I think for me it's more the Forest game, because I think they were saying we could have actually done something in that game, because Forest weren't exactly firing all cylinders at that point. They were there for to the taking at least, and we just didn't show up for that. I think
there's defeats, because I look at the games against Brentford, Newcastle, Palace at home, all 3 of them games where we lost them games, we didn't score a goal. But then I do look at the ones where we was completely all over the place. I mean, like, it was like part of the Red Sea in some aspects, and like what it is with me, and even Jay said it on E20. He said, James, you've got a good
Pussy.
memory. I remember all them sort of moments of where I was on the day it happened. In the Chelsea game,
Yeah.
I was away on holiday, and I was just coming back on holiday. I was going to do the recording in the afternoon after the game. I was watching the game driving back from, I think it was Norfolk. I think I went for the it was Norfolk for about a week, and I watched the game and I was like, trust me, I was in that car, mate, and I weren't best pleased with the way they was playing, and I just think everything as a whole. I think even for both clubs, both managers, like obviously, like Ten Hag going and obviously Ruben coming in and us getting rid of Lopetegui and bringing Potter in. It's just been a bit of a mess season for everyone, and I think next season there will be no prisoners. I think Leeds, Burnley, and Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland, not Sheffield United. Shout out Carlos Tevez. I think them three clubs that are coming up, it's gonna be a different ball game next year, mate. Definitely.
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah, I agree.
three hostile places to go and try and get a result. Burnley's not a nice place to go to try and win. Yeah, Leeds and Sunderland are tough places.
Yeah. Usually got a question for you, Fuzzy. Did Amran apologise to the supporters?
Yeah, well, I don't know why he has to apologise, and then these little rat bastards called Joel and Abram Glazer and Sir Jim Prickcliffe can just disappear and hide in the shadows. Right? They culminated this entire situation at this club. They caused the disaster that we've seen this season. Absolutely caused it. So
Yeah.
they're running off, hiding as they do, and palming it off onto the managers. Just like, yeah, you can apologise for us. So
No, this is true. Yeah, I agree on that. I mean, as you said earlier, it seems that players get away with a buy for some particular reason. The manager does his bit. It's the players crossing that white line, as they say. They're the ones that's got to kind of do the business. The manager can only do so much from the sideline. Daz is saying, do you think Kudos and Paqueta will go? I think they will. Well, we're still waiting to hear the the hearing for Paqueta. It just seems to be longing the shit out of that. Yeah. But I mean, did you see? I mean, even when Kudos scored, there was no celebration. There was very little emotion.
I noticed it on the Kudus thing. I noticed it straight away when he scored. I looked at him because someone said it to me the other week. He said, Jay, when he scores goals, you don't really celebrate. And I thought, I don't know about that. So when he scored today, I was like onto him straight away, looking to see if he had celebrated. He didn't. And I was like, yeah, that's not a good sign. The thing is, yeah, I just need to. I think when we start seeing players leaving, that's when the reality check's going to kick in. I think we're going to start seeing players leaving, and then you know that this refresh is coming. The difference is with this refresh is coming, is it going to be good enough to where we want to try and get to? Now, someone said it to me, funny enough, yesterday. I went out all day yesterday. I went and watched the playoff final and obviously watched me greyhound run at Romford. And one of my mates was sitting there and he said, Joe, what, if West Ham's going to try and get into Europe next season, will be the season where they're going to have to get in there. Because there's so many teams in Europe next year. This Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday routine, West Ham will be the freshest team out of all of them. Like, just imagine a new squad, 38 game season. They haven't really got to worry about any cup competitions till probably the early part of sort of September. And then the FA Cup starts in January. That is when I think West Ham's got the opportunity to finish at the very least, top 10. I think West Ham can do it, but it's going to be an absolute push, to say the least.
True. Yeah, it's a good shout, mate. It is a really good shout. I think the key thing is, if we do get rid of players, it's getting the right price. That's going to be the crucial thing as well.
Yeah.
If we've heard it, James. We ain't got no money. There's a chance there's PSI involved. Sullivan saying he's skint, this and the other. If that's the case, then we've got to get the right money if we're going to buy the right player. Yin and yang, as they say, isn't it? Yeah. As you say, now the fun begins with Lee Gunner versus Sullivan in the transfer window.
What is all that about? Anyone got any context for that?
Got the Lee Gunner bit?
Yeah.
If you look at him and Potter, there's a very kind of
Oh yeah.
close
Graham Potter.
Well, I'm going
looks
to
a
say
lot better.
this, not like sort of clout chasing or nothing, because I'm not into that shit. But I actually went on the stream with Lee Gunner the other week, and he's actually all right. He's actually a top. I actually can relate to what he's trying to say in regards of Arsenal. Like, he puts it across very. He's very sort of "I told you so." Like, he loves that. I know I told you so, Lee. Yeah. But when I spoke to him, we spoke about Arsenal, spoke about West Ham, and he's all right. He's all right. I can sort of, do you know when you get first impressions of someone, and I think, well, he does care, but I don't think the people that agree with him care. If that makes sense. But yeah, shout out Lee Gunner, aka Grandpa.
Grandpa. I think the key thing, with Lee, I mean, not everyone gets him.
Yeah,
Very similar to someone else I know, funny enough.
moi.
you know, um, and it's one of those, mate. But yeah, Lee kind of says it as it is, basically, just like you do, mate. You know, and some people can't get that.
I just think, do you know what? I think with me, I don't know about you boys, but I do take it to heart because I think I'm not that bad of a geezer. I help anyone out. If someone messaged me and needed promoted on E20, I'd do it, and I wouldn't even hesitate. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm that sort of guy that I'd help anyone out to sort of boost their platform and try and make them get them subscribers and just help them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just help your fellow man, so to speak. But I just, some people don't like the way I speak. Some people don't like the way I act. Some people don't like the way, my opinion. That's fair enough. Do you know what I'm saying? Some people can't handle it, so they have to block me completely out of their life because I live rent free in their head. But I can't stop saying what I believe, mate. And I can't be censored by that because I've seen a lot of shit over the years. And when I say about Potter, it's not me saying I want Potter to fail because I don't ever want a West Ham manager to fail. But he hasn't done anything to improve us, and that's where I'm a bit sort of twixt in between. If he had done a couple of things where I looked at it and think, you know what, yeah, you're getting somewhere, I'll be all right. Listen, chill, Jay. Yeah, it's coming, but you're just gonna have to bide your time on this one.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are scared. That's another thing. Amount of people that I speak to on E20 and even in person, where people say to me, "I am concerned, James, about the possibility of us going down," because you can't rely on Jared Bowen for 38 games next year and him doing it on his own, because it only takes one injury. And if he's out of the game, then who we got? And that's where people are worried, mate. If I'm being honest.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Matt's asking, this is for us and the people in the chat, who's going to have the worst transfer window, Arsenal or West Ham? He thinks West Ham's going to be the worst one.
We're still run by Ineos.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal have to have their best window, but I don't know. I think he's going to sod up a transfer somewhere along the line. Arteta. He seems to do it every year. He always signs a dud. Like, he signed Sterling this year, which was never going to work. So I think next season, I reckon he signs a few players, and if they want to sign that Mohamed Kudus, from what I'm hearing, apparently, then can I accept that? Not really, not with them, but it's a sort of, it'd be ironic if he goes there and he kicks into gear and he scores and he's phenomenal. And I think, well, why couldn't you do that for us? So, tricky one, really. With us, I just need to see a structure. I think no one's really mentioned this, but I think we need to have a spine of our side reconstructed. Do you know what I mean? From goalkeeper to centre forward. I think Potter loses me if we don't go out and get a new goalkeeper, if I'm being honest, because Ariola's just not the guy. You can't play the ball to, you can't play a system with ball to feet, and you've got a goalkeeper that's no good with ball to feet. Do you know what I mean? That one just doesn't make no sense.
No.
And then the two centre halves, which I don't know about you, Tone, but Todibo today was fucking awful, mate. I mean, literally, I was watching him and I was like, we've got to pay 35 mil for this geezer. I thought he was shocking. Obviously, the midfield speaks for itself and the centre forward speak for itself. So it's a big old window, mate, coming up. It really is.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what's going to go on. Yeah, I mean, like this bloke, I don't know, he's nuttier than a fucking bunch of fruitcake, this one. If Chelsea lose the Euro final, Maresca might go. I mean, him I don't know. You watch it, you listen to him sometimes, and you think yourself, you're not on the same planet as us, are you? Because he expects players to walk on water for some particular reason. I don't know. That's my opinion of him. But that's Chelsea. You know, Fuzzy. This might interest her. Aces says Scott McTominay won league title and player of the season.
What's your thoughts,
Good for
Fuzz?
him.
Let us know.
Good for him. Good for him. It's one of those where it's like just because somebody leaves the club and does well somewhere else doesn't mean that we have to. I've used this before, right? Where it's like you're in a relationship with somebody, doesn't work out. You go and have your own relationship. She goes and has a different relationship. You notice how well she's doing, and you think, "Oh, well, that's fantastic. That means we'll be great when we get back together." Well, no, because
But she's a
that.
psychopath on the quiet, and she used to throw things at you. Doesn't really help, does it?
Well, Scott McTominay probably threw toasters at people. Who knows? We don't know what antics he got up to at Carrington. So,
Oh man. Big up to Dave, old school gunner. All right, lads. Simple question: how does the Arsenal ladies win compared to the Spurs men's achievement? I think on that, Dave. I think it's the case of it's
I'll
more.
take that.
I'd say you got Arteta's got to think himself. How comes they can get it over the line and he can't do it with the men?
I think
It's more-
Arteta's in shit now, mate. Because now they've won something with the ladies. Now they will be expecting him to win something.
pressure's on now. Yeah,
You know what I
they
mean?
set the benchmark basically.
He shouldn't. For me, like, obviously it's great because every time we play Arsenal at the Emirates, we always nick 3 points of them. So it's always nice to do that. But as a sort of neutral football fan, Arteta's not the guy. Arteta is a stable and steady manager that keeps you in and around Europe, maybe top 6, right? He's improved Arsenal, but how can you how can you expect the man to win when he hasn't won anything? He hasn't even been close to anything. If he'd been in 4 finals and lost them all 4, then I can understand people saying, "Well, it's getting there. He just got to get over the line." I just don't think Arteta's the guy, mate. And I think Arsenal are trying to be. I think they're trying to be loyal to the geezer, but then also they've got to look at this on face value and think, can this man really deliver on the final hurdle? Like this season was the season for them to win the league, and they simply folded, like they always do, right?
Yeah.
Especially under Arteta. Liverpool really got out of second gear? Really, if Liverpool have been pushed, I don't think Liverpool have really been pushed, mate. If I'm being honest, right? I just think they've been a steady side. There's won games when they've needed to. They go to the Emirates and they make sure they don't lose the game. They draw the game, and I think next season's the one, mate. And I actually think next season it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal finish about 4th. I think that's coming. I think the drop's going to start coming now next season. And they think they need a striker, and the striker's the only thing they need, and it's all perfect. But City will improve. Liverpool, look at the signings Liverpool are making right now with that team.
Yeah, Fuzzy just said it. Yeah, so they're not kind of sitting on their laurels. They're starting off straight off, and they just do. I'm just seeing City here now. I mean, obviously Kevin De Bruyne's last game for him as well, so that's going to be a big loss. Pep's going to no doubt jump in there, and he's going to find someone who's going to be, if not better than De Bruyne. Yeah. And you'll see him come back 100%. Good evening, Uncle Rods. Good evening, lads. How are we? We're doing very well, sir. And Uncle, you must be very happy. Your season's finished now as champions elect. So well done for that, mate. And Fuzzy, I do believe I couldn't get on yesterday, but you did a show with Uncle last night.
Yeah, just a panel show. Talked about the season and what our takes and things were, and who the best team was, who's the worst teams, the biggest surprises, and just covered a various range of topics, including United, and missed opportunity, Rods, with slandering me, and slaughtering me and my team and me supporting my team. But you know, I lived to fight another day.
We'll go through the Matt's as usual saying I think he's used his Matt so to measure the rent, boys. Yes. Lawrence saying hello to James. Brendan saying just watch your video, Lawrence. Quality, my good man. I'll have to look for that one as well. Yeah, Ray saying we need to be able to go from defence to a shot at goal in no more than 6 passes. A couple of speedy midfielders are required because we were a bit slow today, that's for sure.
Mate, just sign Garnacho. All you have to do is make one pass and he'll shoot from straight away. Even if it's from his own half, he'll just be like, yeah, shoot.
Looking forward to that. Daz has got one for you, James. He says, have you seen that Arsenal fan lately giving it large?
Oh yeah. I know he's on about. My fellow Arsenal troll who come on E20 and he got dealt a dose of E20 revenge when I said I was going to smash his mother. You know
I have seen that one.
Yeah. Joe, what? I don't know why these fucking pricks do it, man. I really don't. Like, don't come at me, and then you won't get the return fire. It's like they think they can give it, and then I'm going to sit there and not take it. I was bullied as a child, lads. Do you know what I mean? So I've got experience with this. So there you go.
That's now my new ringtone, by the way, just to let you know.
Chat. Other ringtones are available. You know what I mean?
Just coming up. I'm going to smash your mum's back doors in. Yeah, that's great. That's everyone's going to hear that now.
With your watch.
I'm going to plough. No, let's get it right. I'm going to plough through her. It's like a ploughman's lunch, isn't it? Oh dear.
As long as it wasn't the same guy that likes to sing like sexual Arteta songs to a razor blade.
Oh, Jesus.
Have you seen that guy?
Yeah. That's
As long as it wasn't that guy, because he might have taken the impression like, why is my mother getting the plough? Why not me? I'd have the plough.
We're all at all levels. Lawrence says, Barry, now captain, my captain, love that man. Yes, indeed. Good evening, Colin. Good to see you. Good evening, Tony, Fuzzy, and James. Sorry, late. Always pleasure joining you all. Thanks for coming in again, Colin. Really appreciate it. Hello again, Colin is saying. Colin's saying, I'm fearing what is going to happen in the summer under Dildo Sullivan. I just don't think Potter's the man for me after what I've seen. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. As we said, we've kind of covered that area. And they're saying hello to each other. And, of course, Harry, good evening. All you beautiful people, come in your irons. Anthony Herbert, big up, lads. Come on, you idiots. As always. Harry, even how are you? And, of course, say hello there. Lawrence is saying, Ant, thought you were going to start for the Tractor Boys. Yeah, he was on his way on that, but, of course, it broke down, like as always. There you go. Mama's saying, we don't have financial problems. He just wants away. Harry's saying, good evening, Anthony. I thought I saw an Irish Wolf fan shitting in the back of a Triumph Dolomite in the car park. And it's saying, I did, Lawrence, scored a hat-trick and came off, job done. Yeah, all right, mate. You scored an hat-trick. Matt saying he'll take Gordon if Bowen does go. Not a bad replacement. Colin saying, good evening to all you wonderful ladies and gentlemen. Always a pleasure joining you all. And David Shear saying, fuck me, let's celebrate, Cobber. What you expect, you smug buggers. No, it's good. You at least you want to say, yeah, look, here we go. Look, North London is white, as they said. Harry's saying, did you shit house Champion Leagues, Anthony? And off you, whoops, good day, Cobber. North London ain't white. Well, it is at the moment. Lawrence is saying Brighton was my biggest disappointment. Going on that comment you asked, James. Harry's saying exactly the same thing as well. Anyone else comment on that? David Shear saying Forest were brilliant this year. Yeah, they've had a really good season. Can't fault that. It's next season's going to be the telling point, though, isn't it? Evening Frog, Tony Fuzzy J, everyone. Always got in there. Let me just try and catch up on this chat. Frog saying JWP decides to wake up for the final game. Equals a twat. I mean, for me, it was his best game for me. I don't know if it was a few, James, if you thought it was his best game.
I thought he was all right. I thought he was all right today. I thought he scored. People on Twitter were saying, "Oh, well, he scored a goal, but what else did he do? What else did any of our midfield do today?" Like Souček was pretty ghost, really.
I said that as well. It's like he wasn't really involved in much today.
Yeah, and I even said it on the player ratings that I posted before I come on here, and I just said like it was like, because sometimes I think to myself, I don't want to say something in case it's like so outrageous. But I thought, no, I'm going to say it. I didn't really see much of him. And then Jay sort of agreed with me straight away and said, I completely agree. He was like he was there, but he wasn't, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I thought Ward-Prowse will be here next year at West Ham, I think. I think Potter's brought him back to see what he's like. And I think he's going to have at least one experienced player in there, and I think that'll be at least one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough, shout. Big up to DJ Crane. How are you doing, Tone? Speaking from experience with Donna A. Fuzzy, he's saying. And they're saying, big up Mr. Robo 19 TV. Big up to Hammers Arteta. Go to see Mr. Robo 19 TV's channel. Good guy, does some Arsenal stuff. He's not a bad fellow either. DJ Crane saying, Arteta was sitting next to Josh like a kid in very deep trouble. Oh, tail between his legs. You never know. Getting the bollocking, he's deserved all this season, DJ Crane. Frog saying, yep, it's a heck of an achievement by the Arsenal girls. Yeah, definitely. Can't deny that. He's got to learn from that, old Arteta. Good evening to Thomas McKeever. When Klopp and Pep were battling it out for the title, 84 points was way from winning it. Yeah, it's been a strange old season because I think it's the least scoring points we've seen in the league for I don't know how many years now. It's been a long while. Steve Bell saying evening to James. Joanne, good to see you. Been a long time as well. Hello, guys. I hope you're doing well, Joanne. I bet you're happy that it's another season finished with. How many shirts you burned this season so far, Joanne?
Most of them.
Yeah, all of them. Good evening again to Lone Star. Newcastle and West Ham are one-hit wonders.
Look at Lone Star coming in. Lone. You know what I mean? Because he's a lone second. There you go.
Mind the gap.
See, you've got Ipswich with Ed Sheeran, but no one beats this man, Chesney Hawks.
You know what? You know Arsenal got, ain't you? Who's famous at Arsenal? Let's have a bit of trivia. Go on, quiz.
Bonnie Blue.
I always get shafted every week. Always comes second, literally every single time. But the main celebrity at Arsenal currently right now is none other than Win the dog, and they come second. Win the dog, and they come second. You couldn't make it up, lads. Couldn't make it up.
Oh man. Low Star saying Potter won less games than Lopetegui.
We don't speak about Potter here no more, mate. That's gone now. Seasons, mate. I've had enough of that three at the back. I must admit, what do you make that system, Stato?
Well, he didn't go five at the back, so that was one encouraging thing. I think it kind of was interesting to see Mavropanos in there. I don't know. Maybe he was just seeing what this man can do. He kind of kept the blunders down. I think there's only one time I think he made one mistake. Other than that, it wasn't bad for Mavropanos for a change. Kilman, he seemed to kind of be the glue for the three of them. I mean, Tadibo, I get what you're saying with him. I thought he did okay on certain challenges. There was one in the corner. He gave away too many corners, free kicks by the corner.
I thought he was shocking today, mate. I really did. Yeah, I thought that when you look at the goal, he just allows the geezer to come inside and go, here you go, mate, have a shot on our goal. Right. And I don't know, maybe I'm expecting too much from Tadibo, or maybe he's just not all that. But even Tony Gale, I don't know about what commentary you was listening to today, but I was listening to it today, and Tony Gale was on comms, and he turned around and said that he's breathing heavily to Debo. Is he fit? Like, he don't look fit to me. And I'm thinking to myself, this is game 38 now, right? He can't get any worse than this because there's no more games for him to play. And you know, if Tony Gale was saying that, and that wasn't the only comment he said about Tadibo. He said about 3 or 4 other comments, like defending was poor, out positioning was poor, passing was all over the gaff. Yeah, he needs to buck up his ideas, mate. 35 mil we've got to pay for him. I don't think he's worth £35 at the minute.
Well, looking at that, then, would you say part of the pun of that? He's got too much timber on at the moment. He needs to trim down.
I just don't get it with him, mate. Because I watched him against Arsenal at the Emirates, and he was excellent. He was excellent for the time he was on the pitch. He was superb. But then I've watched him a few games, and I think there's a bit of a chip on his shoulder. I think he's got a bit of an attitude, like attitude on him, where he thinks maybe he's better than what he actually is. Maybe he thinks he should be at a bigger club than what he actually is, and maybe Mo thinks like that also. Yeah, but I don't want to be rude to these players, but I don't blame them for being like that, because where we was when we signed these players, we was competing for Europe, and this season we've competed for 14th, which, you know, is mad.
Well, ironically, I said that before we finished the day's watch along. When you think about it, Potter came in when we was 13th, and we finished up 14th. So basically we've kind of nullified ourselves for the whole of the season, really, in that respect.
Yeah.
But I think you're right what you're saying. There's certain players. I mean, could it be the fact that he's still? I mean, don't get me wrong. He seems to want to do well.
Yeah.
But is he thinking he's a bit too big for, you know? Because he didn't want to sign in the first place, did he? Really?
I think so, Tony. Yeah. I think he thinks he's better than what he actually is. And I'm going to be honest, for 35 mil of what I've seen of him, and I've got to take a big L on this. I thought he was gonna change the game for West Ham. The only thing he's changed is his fucking waistband, by the looks of it, because he hasn't changed anything else. Do you know what I mean? And that, to me, is a problem. It's a problem, and it ain't that. I understand the frustration with West Ham fans when they say about certain man, but there's so much that's got to be changed. He's got to sort himself out. The players who are going to be staying are going to have to sort themselves out literally properly, and you know, he's one of them. Because listen, we can't sell him unless we buy him for 35 and then sell him straight away. I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? But he hasn't been great. For the first season at West Ham, if I was to rate him out of 10, I'll give him a 4, maybe a 5 at best for Tadibo. I think he's been unfit. He's been inconsistent. He's just not been good.
Which, in a nutshell, sums our season up, really, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Joan says, I didn't realise it was football today. I'm so uninterested in it. You're not missed much, Joan, put it that way. Lone Star saying to you, James, second ain't lonely.
It is, mate. Yeah, mate.
I need to jump off now. So
thank you, mate. I'm just going to finish off the comments, and I will be wrapping up because I'm only going to go to about 1:30 anyway. So I'll be finishing shortly. But you want to jump off, mate? Thanks for coming in as always.
Thank you. No,
you're most welcome.
Have a good summer, Fuzz. Obviously.
Well, we're already disappearing off to do this Asia tour, play 2 games in Asia. No, you'll say you want a summer off, guys. No, you don't get a summer off. We want that £8 million. I reckon Mazraoui's hamstring injury today was literally just to avoid going on this tour. It was just like that.
Trust the process, Buzz.
Sell this injury, and then I don't have to board that plane. Summer off, easy as you like. Anyways,
yeah. Okay. Trust the process, Buzz. That's what I'm going to say to you, son. Trust it. Trust Ruben.
In my case, trust the car crash. Anyways,
Fuzzy, pleasure, mate. Take it easy.
No
Catch you soon. Ta-da, mate. Ta-da. Frog saying, Joan, don't worry, a few of our players didn't get that memo either. Yes. So your question about who's the famous one, Timmy's gone with it. Good evening, Timmy. John Lydon. Usually just throwing out some odds here. Wimbledon 6-4, Walsall 7-4, the draw 15-8.
It's the year of the animal. Right? Me and my mate was discussing it today. Right, my money's firmly on Wimbledon, mate. The Wombles, yeah, 100%. what is it? It's the year of the bird. All the birds have won.
Yeah,
And obviously Charlton won today. There's probably an animal called the Addicts in there somewhere. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and obviously the Black Cats won the other day. So yeah, year of the animal, lads. Yeah,
sounds
on
like it.
Wimbledon.
Yeah, on Wimbledon's case. Yeah, look at that one. You've read it first. Pepsi's gone Piers Morgan. Yeah. Lone Star saying champions of Europe, Arsenal women. Yeah, great result for them, mate. Great result. Who's your money unusual? Brendan's asking on them odds. Pepsi saying Renee Sledger's my manager. Yeah, she. Who knows? Berta's in there. It could see a change at the reins. Lone Star. Oh, remembers. God, he's showing his age here. Look, Rennie and Artero. Jesus, Arteto.
What's that? An ice skating duo, is it? You know what I mean?
No, it was God, fucking hell, was it Rennie and some. I can't remember the fella's name though. Was it? It was.
It's like Pearl and Dean, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Rennie and something. Yeah, these two singers.
Rennie and
What-
Renata.
That's the one. Save your love, my darling. Why does that suddenly come into my head? Jesus Christ. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's gonna go listen to it on playback now. That's how he enjoys his Sunday bank holiday sesh. You know what I mean?
Let me just whack on the 80s music now. We've got the chance to. Oh, man. They're just showing Spurs coming out and it's Son holding the trophy. Yeah, probably the last time he's going to be doing that. He's probably going to be gone. Usual saying, I'm slightly towards Wimbledon over, although they're the favourites. I think of them as the underdogs. Steve Bell's also saying, usual, I'm going Walsall. Teams in red are doing well in the playoffs. That's a good shout. Colin said, would you get Matata, Delap in for Fulkrug, Ings and Antonio out?
Well, we ain't getting Mateta. Delap, I would. There's just so much, mate. This is so much. I think I'll tell you the best way of summing it up is we won't know until players start leaving. When we see players leaving, obviously what goes out must be replaced. So we're going to see. Yeah, we're going to see about it. But I think we're just going to have to be patient this summer. That's the key word, is patience, and hope that we get the right players in. One thing I am concerned about a little bit is that we're going for a lot of players from abroad that no one's heard of, and at West Ham we don't really find next gen talent. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't seem to happen at us. Like, we might find one, but we need a squad, and that's a bit of a difference.
Well, I suppose you see what this Macaulay can do if he's going to come up with some interesting stats and facts, and with that produce a player. Who knows? Frog saying, how many points were we on when Potter took over? Anyone remember? Well,
I can tell you, 23.
Yeah, Morel, folks. Thanks for that, Morel. And good evening to yourself as well. 23 points.
Stat man, mate. I'll tell you what, I remember the game it was, and it was straight after the Man City game, and his first game was Villa in the Cup, because all the hype was round it. Basically, he took over on the Wednesday, and he had the Villa game on the Friday.
Friday, that's right, yeah.
Friday night.
Yeah. Yeah, and we all got hooked to that point when we thought, ourselves, this don't look bad, does it? If it carries on like this, it's going to be a cracking season.
I just feel that some people, I think there's three sides of it, Tone, with Potter. I think there's the people like myself that are scared, who are genuinely scared. I am scared about next year because I don't know which way it's going to go. There's people who are optimistic, and they're over optimistic, thinking, right, wait till he gets his players, we're going to cook, we're going to do this. A lot of the youngsters are saying it at the minute. And then there's a lot of people that just want this geezer out the door because they just do not trust him at all. If I was the owner right now, I wouldn't have Potter here, because it's not a case of, like, I just don't look at him and trust him enough for me. And I think you have to trust the man. You have to trust your manager and believe in your manager. And I just don't at the minute. But I think it has to be a collective. I think the fan base has to be patient. I think the owner has to step up.
Yeah.
I think this is big on the ownership of the club. They know how much work we need doing and the spine of our side. And I think Potter needs to have a look at himself and realise that 18 games, 5 wins is not good enough for West Ham. And if he does that next season, that's relegation for him.
Exactly. Well, Lone Star's put an interesting thing in here. Look at that. Loppy, Potter, Ten Hag, Amrin, Ange, have lost 57 league games this season. And basically, he's put frauds, but 57 league games.
Yeah, but one of them's got a trophy in Ange. One of them was in a final, Almarin. Lopetegui and Potter. One was unemployed and one was sacked. So, and then they've all done better than Arsenal in finishing second.
And Ten Hag won an FA Cup the year before. So, yeah. Lone Stars put like only lonely at the top. Fuzzy there, yeah. Fuzzy super order shot. Steve saying yes, yeah, the good result for the order boys. Lone Stars also saying Bowen to Bayern, joining Kane. Oh, that's true. Usually, yeah, we've got this as well. Next up, the World Cup thing starting soon. Another way of making some money. They want Eze as well because who's the other one that went over there? Palace fella.
Elise.
That's the one, yeah. So make Eze go there. Yeah, I'll take Eze as well. What player that one is.
Yeah.
Pepsi says, I want women to win, not the Polish teams or the Polish teams. Yeah, look, Renata. That's the one. Jesus. Lawrence is saying, thank you for a not good West Ham season, but a great West Ham community. We are massive everywhere we go. Truest statement there, Lawrence. Yeah, great community we've got. Absolutely. Even you just coming out. Go on, James, you're going to say something.
I know. I was just see what he was saying. The Anderson to step down. I think I just read there. Yeah.
Usual. There you go. Save your love, my darling. Save your love. Words and pictures. One for the kids to finish on. Rennie and Renata. Jesus.
Yeah. I was a young baby back in them days. You know what I mean? So there you go. Show me age now.
I think my mate tried to dance with a bird to that song at the end of the party.
How'd it go for him?
Yeah, well, went really well. Still with it? No, of course not. He's nowhere near her. Yeah, didn't go well at all, mate. Doom and gloom, basically. Damn, Renata. Thomas is saying, save your love, my darling, and in brackets, I'm so handsome. Timmy, yeah, one called Wonders. Yeah, another one of them. David Shear, Captain and Neil. Very true. Yes, he did indeed. That's right. Yeah, he looked like an Italian waiter. Maybe that's where the Go Compare advert come from. Modeled off of him. Frog saying, more calls in, shut up your face than most stuff these days. What a song that was as well. Pepsi. Yeah, Arteta, Spanish waiter.
Here you go. Listen, right, to round this season up, Tone, I want people in the chat to give us a song that defines West Ham's season. Right, because mine's probably going to be the final countdown, right? Because it was just like I was counting down the season as it goes on. You know what I mean? Give us a song, Tone, that you define. You know what I mean? The pain and suffering of this season.
Oh, let me think of something, mate. I'll come back to you on that. Let me think of something. In Macaulay, we trust. Trosh says, good evening, Trosh. Gulp. You're not wrong there, mate. That's Renata. Trosh says, Mav and JWP, good today. We'll probably give them 7-year contracts now. Usual says, yes. I mean, we can only hope for this as well during the pre-season, that the owner needs to step down, not step up. Yeah, he's got to be gone, hasn't he? Timmy, 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps, please. And they're saying like each other. Splodgenissa bounds. Wow, that's one. Love that phrase. What song? Oh, Jesus.
Sailor V. We've got Sailor V in the chat. We've got ACDC. He's got the jack. Johnny Cash.
Just going to go with David Shear. So players have to take ownership. Genuine question. Don't see a lot of player initiatives these days. Trust the process and all that shit. You're right there, David. There's not a lot of initiative from players these days. We'll come back to that, Matt, who's going to be captain next season. We'll come back to that one, Matt. So just star that. Yeah. Matt saying Seller V by Bewitched. Jonas Smith, I doubt I'll watch Arsenal next season. So boring. Yeah, I don't agree. I'm not wrong there. David Shear, ACDC's, you got the jack.
I was just going to say it, Pepsi. Pepsi must have read my mind. I was just about to say REM, Everybody Hurts. Do you know what I mean? And it just come into me. I just went to get the words out, and Pepsi got in there before me, mate. I've always liked Coca-Cola, not Pepsi, but here you go.
The usual anti-nowhere league, so fucking what? Words and Pictures saying "Hurt Yet" by Johnny Cash. Mestammer passive everywhere went. Steve Bill saying, Timmy saying "Electrocutioner" by Menace. Daz YMCA. Yeah, Seb's for Hurt. Troj's coming in with Creep, Radiohead, with Sully in mind. He's saying there. Flecko for Drid for me. Pepsi. I think for me and that, I'll go with Peter Gabriel with Sledgehammer, because that's how our season's been. It's been one fucking sledgehammer. Smashed him with Lopetegui and that, smashed the fuck out of that kind of thing, getting Potter and that, and smashes the crap out of that as well. It's been painful. Absolutely painful.
It has, I must admit, it has. How you found it with YouTube time this year?
I found it. It's. I suppose it's been enjoyed. I mean, tomorrow, believe it or not, mate, it's been 2 years that I've been doing this. So 2 years tomorrow, and that's with having 3 months off as well to come back into this, and met some interesting people, met some good people. Been some interesting comments, and I think the good thing about it, with your channel as well, and with some of the others, and that built up a great community, and it's good to kind of collaborate with people like yourself and others. So I've enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed it. There's like I think you've been in the same position. It does have its moments. There's no two ways about it. But I think the main thing is, I mean, you vent because you're actually angry because you're passionate, kind of thing. There's other channels that do it, but for the wrong reasons, if you get what I mean.
I think I've got for me personally, I think, and I will be doing a video on it, I have got to look at myself and the way I perceive myself to others. Like, if people are seeing me like that, they're going to think I'm a fucking idiot. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not me being an idiot. It's me just caring about this club. I think what does me also is that I don't go to West Ham. I've not set foot in the ground. And I think I've seen the stuff that's happened over the last few years, and it's just been building up in me. It's building up a pressure. And I think sometimes you need to sit back and relax and go, you know what, there's more to life. But like the community side of it, like you help anyone, I help anyone. It is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've met a few good people on here, like yourself and Aaron. I do like Aaron, Arsenal fan Aaron, who comes on. Yeah. He's a top lad, and his old man's a good laugh and all.
Terence,
yeah. So and you do meet people, you do meet some characters, but I just feel like I think football is like politics at the minute, especially West Ham, and you're either on the left or you're on the right, and there's no real balance. And people, you ain't gonna please everyone. It's as simple as that. And you can try and try and try, and you can try and wonder why people have got this opinion of you. You just ain't going to please everyone, mate. And do you know what I'm saying? And that when you accept that, that's the best way of summing it up.
Yeah, I'll make you right on that one. I do make you right on that. Just going to say hello, Richard here. He said, "Evening, lads. I thought Ant would have been on here tonight. Arteta was not in charge today, suspended. Good win for West Ham today as well. Thank you much, Richard. Appreciate that as well. But this has got to be the best song. And all I think of is Only Fools and Horses when it comes to this. Usual comes in with Roy Orbison and Crying.
Crying.
No. If you do the Only Fools and Horses one, Crying.
Yeah. Is that Arsenal song? Crying every year. It's exactly it. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Richard's bought Wurzels, Drink Up the Cider. Ooh, yes. Stephen Langan, it's been shit by Potter. Thomas is saying, "Wish You Were Here" by Slaven. Yes. Lone Star, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Frog's gone with "Oh, What a Circus." Morel is coming with "I Can See Clearly Now the Rain Has Gone."
Yeah. Joe, what? It's going to be like a Mellow Magic in summer. where you're going to be sitting in the garden listening to some music, maybe in a barbecue or something, and all these songs are going to come on, and you're going to think, just go back to Tone's like Sunday Night Takeaway, episode 60. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think what I'll do, mate, I'll actually on my Spotify account, I'll go through make a playlist just these songs alone. Joe's I've just been around with my sage stick to get rid of any negative energy. Oh, mate, you want to go to the Emirates, Joanne, and put it around there? Thomas is saying, how many unrealistic players will be linked to over the next couple of months? Every single one.
I don't even want to think about it, Thomas. I mean, I don't even want to think about it. So, you know.
Oh, man. JPT, good to see you. And Budgie's not with us, but it'd be good if he was. Big up, Budgie, saying, good to see you, Hammers, in the season with a win. Thank you very much, sir. And obviously the same for the old Chelsea as well. They've done it as well. Low Style, West Ham, Bon Jovi, living on a prayer. Yeah, wicked a prayer, that's for sure. Pepsi saying, song for Arteta, Fuck You by Lily Allen. That's a great one. Yeah, Timmy, yeah, you can never please everyone. And if you pleased everyone, then there's something going wrong if you did that, because everyone should have an opinion at the end of the day, not kind of totally agree. Great song, Pepsi there. Usual saying, Arteta, Rod Stewart, I'm a three-time loser. Stephen Langham, down, status quo. Yeah, lucky enough we didn't go that route. David Shear saying Van Morrison into the Mystic. Music of full and football, and Steve Bell's coming with next season by Ghost Town. Bloody hell. Just going back on Matt's question though, he says, who's going to be captain next season, you think, for West Ham?
Bowen, mate.
You think it still be him?
I don't think he will change it, if I'm being honest, because that could upset the apple cart big time. Do you know what I mean? Imagine like saying to Bowen, oh, we don't think you're good enough for captain. I just think you just build around this man. You get, I'll tell you, like the best way of making Bowen a better captain is you get better people around him. You get good people around him and people who can sort of relate to him. And what it is, one thing I will say about West Ham, which I haven't seen for a long time, is I need to see some togetherness on the pitch. I've seen it in glimpses this season, like Arsenal away, and this is no dig at the Arsenal fans in the chat. This ain't, right, I'm going to be honest. But Arsenal away, it felt like they was all in it together to win that game. I remember that game.
100%.
And they was on its own, like from minute 1 to minute 94, 5, whenever it was. And I just need to see that more consistent next year, whoever the personnel is. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of pressure. There's going to be pressure not only on signings, but these youth players that are coming back, like Freddie Potts. If Freddie comes back, I think Freddie's in line to be starting for West Ham, especially in pre-season, and that's big pressure on him. He's a West Ham fan. We need someone who gets the club. I think that's another thing. So, you know, I'd keep Bunn as captain. I wouldn't get rid of him. There's no reason to get rid of him as captain. And I just feel like just get better people around him. Do you know what I'm saying?
See, I've got a little bit of difference on that. I think, and it comes down to obviously what Potter says to him at the end of the day, because I think I've said it before. I feel it took his edge off of him, giving him the captaincy, because he was too centered on trying to make a go at that, as well as try and be the player he is.
Yeah,
and he lost a little bit of his pace and edge. The England goal helped him rekindle that, but there was a spell when he went back off the ball again. So I don't think, for me, I would rather get someone else to do it. And I think the key thing for me is what Potter says to Bowen. If he's going to change it, he's got to have a serious sit down with him and make him understand why he's making the change and the benefits it's going to give to Bowen by taking it off his shoulders.
Yeah, but who'd you give it to?
I think, I don't think we've got the player at the moment. Let me put it that way. See, I look at Kilman and I thought myself, he might have been the obvious choice. But as I've looked at the season, he's not. He hasn't got the acumen. He hasn't got the strength to be a captain. He's not exactly a leader. I wouldn't say Bowen is really a leader. He's an inspirer because he tries to get the people going there. But you need someone who has got the cojones to
But
kind of tell what.
is he a player though, Tone, that leads by example? Because you can be a leader in two ways. You can be a shouter. You can be a Roy Keane type player that would be sort of in your face, telling you when you shit and things like that. Or you could be someone like a Bowen who this is how I play. I expect you to play like me, like or on the not on the same standard, but at least give it everything like I do.
I agree on that comment, but I mean, if it's only the last 4 or 5 games,
Yeah,
that he's got back to being how he was. But previous to that,
yeah,
you could see where him and Kudos were fighting over that ball. He was trying to play in areas where he should have released the ball and he was losing out on the ball. He was trying to do too much with the ball, and that's where I think that's one of the reasons alone that I look at that and I think to myself, I would have someone else in. And I get your comment. I get valid. You're valid what you're saying, because at the end of the day, we build it around Bowen. But at the same point, I think you've got to literally, if he's going to get someone else in who comes in, who's got that stature about him, in this case of like that's a captain there and then. I mean, like Rice has said it. Sorry, Pepsi said about Rice. It's going to be in the comment up because I've already said Rice should be captain at Arsenal, and that should be next season. We need a character like that, and unfortunately, with what we've got currently, we need someone who's we need a leader on the pitch. Because at the moment, you know full well, in the midfield area, you should have a leader in the midfield. We haven't got that.
Yeah.
None of them take that kind of the ball by the horn. Like I said, for me, it should have been, I thought Kilmer, but when I watched him a couple of games, it's a case of, no, you're not the person either.
For me, I just feel like if you take it off him, you give it to a new signing, there's no guarantees that new signing is going to get it right.
No,
being the captain.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, obviously in life you've got to take risks, and I get that. I just feel like with Bowen next year, if we can get a squad round him that's decent, then I don't think the pressure's all on him. I think the pressure's been on Bowen. Like, if you think about it, Tone, you take Bowen out and Souček out, we've got no goals. Literally none.
Of course.
And I'm scrambling around, and I think Jay said it earlier in E20. You take them two out, what do we... Well, our centre-halves haven't scored a goal between them all season. Do you know what I'm saying? So, it's very minimal goals, and we need to find... One thing we need to do in the summer, above anything else, is try and have goals in every position possible. And I just don't think we have enough goals, and we're too dependent on individuals rather than the squad. And listen, I think Bowen is a good captain. I think he's learning, but I don't think it's the time to sort of let him go. I think you do that next year with him once you've integrated a load of players in, or you hand it over to Freddie.
I think there's a good shout. I mean, I was just thinking as we was talking about. I mean, there's a good shout what you just said there, because he says something that basically everyone thought, you know what, it's about time we heard a player say that. Fulkrug, but I don't think people will buy into that because I think
I don't think Fulkrug's here, mate.
Well, that's the other thing as well, isn't it? I mean, if he did stay, for instance, then he'd be the one who would say something. He was one that kind of would say something, but I don't think people will buy into it.
The obvious choice, really, is Souček. He captains for Czech Republic.
Yeah,
and he would be the obvious choice, but I don't think he's a starter next year.
I don't think he's going to be here, mate, because it's been leaked apparently.
Yeah, and there's a few times, that he's looking at Everton ban, which I disagree with completely on that. What I'm seeing is a lot of players leaving, not a lot of players looking like they're coming in, and all I'm seeing is these players from Denmark and Belgium and all that, and it just feels like Burnley. I feel like not last season, the season before, when they come into the Premier League and they were signing all these individuals from all over the gaff, and no one knew who they was, and they was all right, but they couldn't survive.
Yeah.
So
No.
The captain, the captain debate will rumble on, but I think he's all right for now.
I think for now, I mean, I'm not dismissing it. It's not to take it off of him. It's just the fact of if you're going to bring someone in, then if you feel like he's going to be captain, Potter's going to have a good sit down with Bowen and go over the reasons why and why not. That's all I'm saying in that respects.
Yeah.
Frog said, "Sung to the squad, wake me up before you go." Jesus. Des says Bowen's not a captain, no, but a great player. I'll give that. Big up to Dermot, Tottenham Hotspurs till I die. Hope you're doing well, mate. And sorry we haven't been in touch with you lately, but I hope you're all good, Dermot. Thanks for coming in. Don't forget, people, he's a nice guy, old Dermot, and as he said, I'm the only West Ham fan that he actually kind of can stomach. So big up to you, mate.
Oh, they've all popped up now. They've won a trophy, innit? I mean, we can't sing that to them now, Tone. That's more heartbreaking than the season, I think.
Mate. Lone Star saying, right, because captaincy is a priority. Yes, Pepsi, Odegaard is too weak. Rice, as I said, when you signed him, he will be your captain. There's no two ways about it. He's a leader. End of. Lone Star saying, Arteta, nothing compares to you. Yeah, that's about right for him, that's for sure. Steve Bell staying, agree with James with the Bowen comment. Don't think you can give it to a newbie. I mean, look, it's just a case of we have to see what happens from there. Daz is saying we haven't got a captain. Big up to Michael Chelsea. Big up Tottenham James. It's been a while, guys. It is indeed, Michael. I hope you will. And well done with the show with Yeti earlier on for the watch along. Hope you didn't kind of pee him off too much with the win. As I'm saying, Falkirk will make the best leader. Yeah. But as you said, also probably off as well. And they're all agreeing with that as well. Colin saying, Tony and James, love your shows. All speak how you see it and talk sense and speak your mind. And I respect and love you for that. Always a pleasure joining you. Colin, it's been a pleasure, when you come on, mate. And with everyone, basically, it's brilliant. We say it as it is. And we're just trying to say good comments rather than kind of shouting at each other.
I think it's good to have debate. I think it's good to have heated debate because I've had many heated debates on different shows and even on E20 this year. Me, Lucas, and Jay have been going at it, especially with the under bottom thing. And when we went at it the other week, I was like, I can't keep hearing it. But the thing is, I think we've all got the best interest of the club. That's the main thing. Like, no one's got an agenda here. Like, no one's. I'm not sitting there going, "Oh yeah, let's just be negative for the sake of being negative." Because if West Ham was great, West Ham were playing well, you'd feel the energy from me of them being great and well because I'd be buzzing. I just haven't been buzzing this year. It has been a draining season. I don't know about you, Tom, but it feels like it's just been one thing after another. We've had like even Antonio with the car accident thing. That was hard to accept. That the geezer nearly got killed.
Yeah.
And it's just been one thing after another. It hasn't. There's not been any good thing. And I tell you what, there is one positivity, like one slight positive, is the emergence of like Bowen and Wan-Bissaka on that right hand side. I said to Jay earlier on the afterthought. I think that's a positive in itself because I think them two work really well together. And it's the best. Like if you can get Bowen into them positions where you can get him at his best, with Wan-Bissaka backing him up, knowing full well that he's got cover behind, which allows Bowen to not have to keep tracking back and defending mainly, then we've got half a chance of doing some damage against any team. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't know about you, mate, but I'm glad the season's over. Like I've never been more glad. I've done YouTube for 4 years. And this season has been the hardest one out of them all. I thought Moyes in, Moyes out last year was hard, but this one's been, I think it's been a bit worse than that one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's that's an understatement, isn't it? To see the back of this end of this season now, it couldn't come quick enough in certain respects. I mean, the main thing, you think we've had this conversation when Lopetegui came in, we started seeing all these signings, and you asked that question: where do you think we're going to finish? And we were looking around about top 10, top 12th place. We thought that that's where we could be possibly. We were pushing it with 8th place. And of course, the season started, and and you said it. I remember you clearly saying it when you watched the pre-seasons. That's when the alarm bell started ringing for you, and it only took about 2 or 3 games in this case of like, this ain't good, this ain't good at all, kind of thing. And of course, as it went on, but the only thing I'll say before you're going to come in on that is the fact that if it wasn't Lopetegui getting them points, and it's only the fact of like the 3 teams that went down were just as poor. But if we weren't careful,
I think we got away.
opportunity.
I think we got away with it this year. Like I'll never forget going to Dagenham and Redbridge in the middle of the summer,
That's the one.
watching the game, and
That's the
I
one.
actually videoed the game for everyone on Twitter because West Ham, I think it was West Ham or Dagenham or someone wanted to charge a fiver, and I thought, nah, they take the piss. So I recorded it. I literally streamed it live from my seat, as good as, and I watched the game, and I looked at us, and I thought, it's not right. It just doesn't feel right to me. Like when you've watched West Ham as many years as I have, and I'm not the most like fanatical of football tactics and all that, but I know when something's not right, I can just feel it, and it just felt like there was too much shouting, too much hollering, too much people out of position, and it's pre-season, and they should know what they're trying to do, and they had no idea what they was doing. And then obviously they went to Austria, and obviously America. I watched the games in America in pre-season, and I was like, "This is not right." Like, and even Lucas, who was there, he was at
That's
one of the
right. Yeah, of
pre-season.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, he was at one of the pre-season games, and he turned around and said to me, he said, "Yeah, don't feel right. It just don't feel right." And obviously the season kicked off with Villa, and we lost, and then Palace we won, and it was just bitty backwards and forwards. But then there was a few games this year, and I will get you on E20 time probably this week at some point to try and get get your season review. Like I'll get you on there, and it just felt like to me that it was just up and down, up and down. Like we're going to beat Ipswich, and then we draw a game. We get outplayed by Fulham, and then we'd nick a draw, and we think we've won. We've had it right off, and then we play Chelsea at home, who haven't been great this year, and get completely destroyed. That Chelsea game was the one where I looked at it and I thought we are in deep shit because we had no idea what we was trying to do. Actually, none at all, and it's quite frightening, really, that them 3 teams were so bad that it saved us in the end. Because if next season Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland all come up, they're going to be 3 hard away fixtures to go to. Leeds away is a tough old ground, Ellen Road. Stadium of Light is a place that they will try and get that bounce in there. Now they're in the Prem, and Burnley's an awkward, tricky game, right? And if that's a night game, right, it's the old saying is you don't want to be going to Burnley, like, and try and get a win at Burnley away. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like with us that it's been one of them seasons where you just I'm if I live for another 50 years or 20 years or whatever, I will remember this season for everything negative about it because it was just awful, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing is it's over. We can hopefully put it to bed, and hopefully we can move on. That's going to be the but it's the next couple of months for me is going to be the telling point where that's when you see the benchmark where we're going, what direction we go with this club. And I hope it's going to be the case of if, and it's all of that big rumor, if these Americans are looking to take over the club, please do it soon. Put us out of our misery.
I think let's
move forward.
I think there's a few things. I think the investor situation has to be sorted out. I think this ownership has to be sorted out. I think there's a lot of in-house stuff that has to be sorted out. Also, the Lucas Paqueta situation has to have a final outcome.
Mate, that one. That's
yeah.
Just, why would they keep putting it back and back and back in there? I mean, it ain't good for the player. That's for one. And we just want it over and done with.
I think everyone just wants to know what the final score is.
This is it, mate, isn't it? I mean, it's just. But I think in certain respects, that just sums up our season.
Yeah, and I think that's been a hindrance on us all season. So there's quite a few things when you sort of, if you used to sit down, grab a pen and paper, and go through everything this season what's really gone wrong with signings, with in-house fighting, with players having car accidents, and the Paqueta thing, and everything else that goes with it. I just think everyone needs to sort of have a cognac, chill out, and just get a bit of sun. Like that's how I'm going to be, mate. Honestly, it really is.
Amen to that. Amen. Good evening, Sean. Early again as always. Good to see you in here, mate. Let's just catch up some of the comments before we wrap it up. Michael's asking, usually asking Michael, your manager in or out? He's asking, nope, still out. Blue currently out, as always. He hasn't changed his tune on that. Fair play on him. Big up the frog in the wheel. Michael. Good evening, Daniel Neal. Big up to yourself, mate. There's no captain in our squad at the moment. Bowen doesn't stand out on the pitch for the ref or to the players. Bowen needs good players around him, yes, but he's not rallying others on the pitch, which is a true statement. But we've got, let's see what happens with that. Bit left fielder, give it to JWP or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. From usual. I mean, Wan-Bissaka to me is a bit too quiet, unfortunately, but, great player. Lone Star says, I feel sorry for Bowen, elite player surrounded by mediocrity. Which has been really. Frog saying usual, need to skin up and think about those. Lone Star seeing Soof in here. No, yeah, it was all good, Tom. Good. Usual saying, what do I know if I'd like to give it to Anne Widdicombe? Anne Widdicombe. Oh, Jesus. Northern Chelsea Lone Star saying, good evening to Wetty Fap. A few weeks off to recharge and then back to get my hopes up with all the links that will come out. Come on, you irons. You're not wrong there. Yep, it's wait till tomorrow's press. What it links us with. I'm already seeing some of the shite already, really. Fresh is saying, any Croc or Shark bulletins? No, Kieran left us with nothing on Thursday, the bar lamb. It was all quiet on that front. Even Harry was disappointed because there was no Beaver Watch either. Captain Pugwash, Jesus. David Shears says, Tony James and Fuzzy, cheers, Cobbers, don't despair, always next season. David, as always, pleasure seeing you here from Australia, mate. Very kind of you. And from one going and one comes in. Good evening, James. Good evening, all. Usual. George, Bowen don't really suit Potter's system. Yeah, Rice must feel the same. Lone Star, usual saying. George also said, hardly any of our players do against Potter. Ravi's coming in with his question. With teams now having better money to spend, will we see a new top six and newer teams winning domestic cups? Every team is looking to do better this next season. So that's a very big shout. I mean, for me, yeah, I think you will see some change. I mean, James already alluded that Arsenal, if they're not careful, could finish fourth because of it. So, yes, definitely, Ravi. Definitely. Esther Ravi Radson. Jesus, Lone Star. Frog saying, fucked if I can work out what this Potter system actually is. Well, put it this way. At least they can understand him, because that's one thing. Lopetegui. I mean, I think it was on the same press talk as you was on, James, that day. I had no idea what the bloke was saying.
Yeah.
No idea. Clueless. James said, evening, Tony and James. It's been a long, grinding and frustrating season. Thank God it's over. You're not wrong there, mate. Their conversation. Usual bit, she's filthy behind closed doors. And Widdicombe. Jesus. Trosh says, pre-season always messed up. We sign players at the end of the window. Or we're going to get the... yeah, we tried to, but couldn't get it over the line. Yeah, to save the pennies. True. Lone Star and Widdicombe is truly frightening. Yep, she's our captain. Get her in. She'll be the job. Pepsi, where's the foundation, guys? Times for answers. Well, ask Terry, Pepsi. Terry will give us the answer on that one. That says Potter needs to do his magic in the summer. Yeah. Well, he's got to make sure he's got the right one, though, Daz. He can't have the broken one, not like he had this season. Frog says, usual, craps in crisp bags and smashed them with toffee MSR Verd. Low Star saying it's Graham Potter, not Harry Potter, Daz. True, Low Star. What if Fap says, James, when you come back, will you do a keep, sell, loan video before pre-season? Would be interested to know your thoughts on the whole squad.
Yeah, I'll be doing a video like that just to see what he's doing. But I will be dropping like sort of mini videos, but no lives or anything like that. I'm going to sort of take it easy and not stress about it as much. But yeah, I will be looking at the squad. I will be looking at when they go to America, because that's going to be there's a tournament in America this summer that West Ham are going to be in, so that's going to be on some sort of cable TV. So I'll be watching that, and a few weeks break, and then I'll be back to jumping on lives and things like that. because it's just it's just a complete reset, and how it is.
And Witty Fab, thank you very much for doing that as well. Also subbed here. Nice to see another West Ham channel. Appreciate that, mate. Now I'm 960, 40 away from the 1K mark. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Daniel saying, Tony, great show as always. James, don't ever slow down, mate.
I think it's not slowing down, mate. It's just a bit of a reality check for me. I am going to do a video this week. There's a few things I've got to do, get off my chest and all that. Season review, player ratings, and there's going to be a video just talking about myself, really. Like just talking about how this season's made me feel as a person. Do you know what I mean? And it's been quite hard, really, when you sort of. The thing is with content creating, I don't really look at it as content creating. I'm just a supporter like everyone else, like you done. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, come on, do the video, let anyone on my platform. Like someone comes into my platform, they can come on and have their say. My all I say is as long as you're respectful to the guests that are on there, i.e. like Lucas, Mitch, Jay, you can be rude to me because it is what it is. But I've sort of come to a sort of crossroads with it, with the YouTube game, because obviously some people are very spiteful and malicious, and like I'm quite mentally strong, but I'm going to be honest, over the last sort of 6 months, it's been very, very hard, extremely hard, like mentally, and I'm sort of slowly starting to crack a little bit. And what it is with me, I don't like to come across as a bit of a prick. Do you know what I mean? But people seem to think I am one. So, it's a bit. I've got to sort of sort myself out in regards of the way I come across, because I'm just a normal bloke who sits there, supports the team from afar. A lot of the stuff that I've said has sort of happened, like with the owners and with Lopetegui arriving and everything. And it ain't like I told you so, because I don't want to be like that. But it's a case of I want this club to succeed, and I think all of us do in our own little ways. So I'll be covering a lot of stuff this week coming, and then I'll be me sort of wrapped up, like basically just after the Champions League, which is Saturday night. So yeah.
As Josh says, look, season isn't over, lads. 4 nails and Antonio got a win versus Chelsea. Yeah, you imagine that. I mean, it was quite funny. You had Anthony going on a tweet that basically saying, and they said it was me, basically like Man United's downfall. It was down to him, kind of thing. So that was quite funny to see that. 4 nails and Adrian. I mean, of course, Adrian as well. Yeah, of course. There. Good evening, Gary. Evening all, just give Potter a chance, let him get his own players in, then judge him after the Christmas window. And I think that's the way it's got to be. We've got to let him do what he's got to do, and we're judged from that point onwards. Stephanie, good evening to yourself, and 35 likes. Thank you very much for that. Pepsi saying 25th of July, Arsenal's next game against Milan in Singapore. Terence, what's happened to him? Yeah, he's fine. Oh, Terry's fine, Joanne. Just doing a lot of things. He's obviously his granddad now, so he's doing his bit, but he's also doing a lot of work as well. But he's fine. He's good as everything. I think he went on a show one time recently, so you never know. He's living on the moon. Yeah, about right there. Witty Fab says, "Chill up, people. We're all a big family at the end of the day. Come on, you eyes. You're not wrong there. We are indeed." Fresh is saying, "Just spiteful, malicious groove is in the heart." Great shout. Good evening, Happy. Good to see you. I hope you're good. Did you go to the game, Happy? Let us know if you did, and what was your opinion on it before we wrap up. Oi Hamlois. Daz is also saying, smash the likes, and don't forget, if you haven't already, most of you already have, but if you haven't, make sure you go over to James East 20's channel and give him a sub as well, please. That'd be much appreciated, as they say. Colin saying, take care, Tony James. A pleasure joining you. I'm just praying we get it right. I have my doubts and fearing for the summer and next season. Good night to you both, and God bless to you both as well. Colin, really appreciate you being in here, mate, and rest up well. Know that you've been working hard as well. Daz is saying, Happy. Happy said, just got home. Great away day. Oh, you actually went. Quite emotional with Cressy. Oh, yeah, it was. I was a little bit choked near the end as well, watching how they all went. And it was good to see, Kufel He put a brave face on. I don't know if you saw it, James. He put a brave face on. Cressy did exactly the same. But if you look at Fabianski, he had to turn away a couple of times. So I think it did actually get to him. That was a nice touch. Quite much for Cressy, Fabs, and Kufal. I know we need to let them go, but I do hope we get a better replacements in, and I think that's a fair shout. And Happy's also said, sad to admit it, that the send-off for him was better than I said that as well, Happy. It was better than our home one last week, and I think that was pretty poor, really, how it was. It could have been a lot better. But what I think, just going on that before we wrap up, Ipswich did the right thing, did the game, and afterwards, when they walked around the stadium, then they brought out the kids, the babies, and all that lot, rather than we did it before the game, which I thought was totally wrong.
Yeah.
There's a way of doing things. I don't know why we did that.
Yeah, I know. It's just West End never do it right, do they, Tom?
Oh, mate, that's for sure. Pepsi said, you lot need a new stadium. That track and field outdoor arena doesn't work. Yeah. Well, no, we've left it there for Tatibo, get himself fit for next season. That's what that's there for. Trosh says, same as the performance on the pitch. Happy? Yeah, not wrong. Joan said, oh, so I'll take a step granddad then. Yes, exactly, Joan. You're not wrong. And Happy says, Ben Johnson got a song too when he walked around the pitch post-match. Nice. Gary saying, like Roy Keane said before the Liverpool game, they looked like an hard bunch to manage. How right was he to manage too many generals in that change room, playing as individuals, not as a team? That could be our problem as well. And on that note, people who's in the chat still with us. It's been 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's been a great doing the show with you and that. Appreciate Fuzzy coming on for the short period of time. And of course, James from E20 as well. Just going with this comment from Happy. Colin saying good night to all the wonderful ladies and gentlemen in the chat. Always a pleasure joining you. We'll see you all and God bless. Happy saying massive difference between our players' parade and theirs. Ours showed how old we are. Everyone had wives and kids compared to theirs. Dad say night all, and Happy's also saying thanks as well, guys. No, you're much welcome. Happy, I hope it was a safe journey home as well, which obviously is because you're back. James, again, thank you very much for coming on.
No worries at all, mate. Anytime.
Whittyfap saying, see you next season. Enjoy the summer. Same for you as well, and thanks for the sub as well. Appreciate that. Cheese rolling tomorrow. Happy days. And we're going to end the stream there. No outros for tonight, people, and that, because obviously we know we have got things to do ourselves. But again, thanks for being with us and take care.